This is Life Beyond the Finish Line on 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Orlandina Balan, aka the Fertile Woman. Today's conversation is all about how to lead with integrity, vision, and generosity, featuring my guest, Rich Big Daddy Salgado. So, you have been called the gentle giant. We were talking about that. I was asking him, well, how you get that name, Big Daddy? But when I was introduced to you, they're like, yeah, they call him the gentle giant. I'm like, why? So they're like, you're just such a kind-hearted person. So how does kindness and humility play into your leadership style? Because sometimes people are not so kind and gentle as a leader.
Well, you have to know how to deal with people. There's the happy person, there's the angry person, there's the middle of the road person, and you have to find a common ground. There's certain people that you have to show interest in them so that they realize that you're paying attention. Because sometimes you could sit there and you're like, you can yap away and then ask me if I heard you. I'll be like, no, I didn't hear one word you said. So I think that's really very important that you when you're talking to people or a person, individual, you want to know about them. A lot of times, and I'll say this jokingly, but it's true. A lot of times people come to me and it's just favors. A lot of it. And I deal with it accordingly. You can't save the world, and you try to help people. I think it's when you're able to help somebody, just do it.
That's right.
Don't tie anything to it. Don't feel like...
Do it without expectation.
Yeah. If you do it without expectation, then you're not disappointed.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people do that. If you meet this one and this one does this with that person, my favorite one of my favorite lines is, if you ask me for a number to connect you to somebody that can help you, and I give you that number, don't call me to call them.
No.
That drives me. You want to see me not be gentle giant? That drives me bad. That and being late are the two things that drive me crazy.
I agree. You want the number, you call.
Yeah, that's
you're
right.
You're a big boy, you're a big girl now. Come on now, stop it. So you talk about showing up and being who you say you're going to be, do what you say you're going to do. How does that influence, so in other words, what role does showing up for others play in building influence and leading effectively? So how does that show up in others when you do that?
Well, the funniest thing is, obviously, as I walk in a room, I stick out no matter what room I'm in.
Yeah,
So, if I'm in a room with everyone's 5'5" and I'm 6'4", so I'm going to stick out. And right away, who is that guy? What does he do? Who is he with? And it's important to let people know who you are.
Yes.
Because you might be in a room with 100 people and you might be able to help 10 of them, 15 of them. And I tell young proteges and people that come into our business that everyone's a potential client.
Yes.
Everybody. Insurance has a real dirty stigma that everyone's sleazy and, whatnot. I'm not getting wealthy being a thief or a bad person. We do the right thing. We make sure that you have the right insurances and you pay the right amount, and no one rips you off. That's not how we do business. And the reason we get the business that we do is because of that.
You care. You care about your clients.
We do things beyond insurance that leads on to other things. And, when we talk about it a little further, it's like, I started in the insurance world, but then all of a sudden I hit the road to the right. Then all of a sudden the road to the left comes, and it's like, opportunities arise every day.
Exactly.
Every day.
And just be ready for it. It's cool. Opportunities will show up where you wouldn't even think about it. And I think
there's two of those for me that I would never in my life. I used to laugh. I'll wait till you ask me that question so I know I can answer it accordingly.
So what did you expect?
Well, I just thought I was going to be an insurance agent my whole life, and off I would go and I would do what I'm doing now. But then all of a sudden I got into television. So
you see,
how
did that happen?
By accident. It was I ran into somebody that was doing booking at Fox Business, and I was helping with the booking, and then all of a sudden I got asked to be a guest, and then I started being a guest. And then I said to myself, man, I could do this. Like, this is easy, you know? So I got taken from Fox Business over to Fox News, and then I started being a Super Bowl correspondent for Fox News. So I worked with Long Island's own Brian Kilmeade from Massapequa. You know, he's one of the hosts on Fox and Friends, and I had a good 7-year run there doing that, and then COVID hit and all that changed. But and then, you know, I've been featured in a lot of places. You know, I've been on ESPN, NBC Today Show did a huge piece on me last year. It just kind of, I think, shocked a lot of people because the piece was outstanding, and it showed the depth of what I do and who I am, and how delivering pizza to the Super Bowl was the biggest thing on the planet for a pizza shop from New Hyde Park, Umberto's.
So you were able to bring them that light,
We did that, yeah. We did pizza deliver every Friday to the Giants. So out of superstition, we were like, the players were like, you have to bring it to Indianapolis. I'm like, how am I going to get it there?
Exactly.
Well, Umberto's son, Gaetano.
Umberto, yes.
He bought heated boxes. And now we'll make this into a celebrity thing because celebrity chef Dino Gatto from Rayo's, the hardest restaurant in New York to get in, he went with Guy on the plane and they brought the pizza to Indianapolis. And then I met them there. And we delivered the pizza to Giants practice on Friday before the Super Bowl.
How amazing is that? And I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm not a big pizza person, but Umberto's, I love their pizza.
Yeah, they got the best.
They have the best pizza.
They have...
there are very few people. I'm like, they're one of them.
You know, and that's the one thing that unexpected, you know, the TV stuff. And then it led to more and more. And, you know, I currently do a lot at Newsmax. And I did last year, I did every Friday, I did News Nation in the morning and Newsmax at night in the afternoon.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was doing both. One was Zoom and the other one was in studio. So I was going into the city. But you know what? That exposure is important and it's key. And secondly, the experience of being behind the mic and always practicing. You know, is key. And, you know, I work with my, and right now I say, and you know, my producer will listen to these and goes, you're not supposed to say it, you know. And,
do you find yourself listening to yourself, like, after you record?
Yes, I do.
Because I listen to myself, too.
I do. And I'm just like, I just said, and you know.
you can now you become conscientious of
it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't say that, but...
do you feel that the experience has stretched you?
No, it hasn't stretched me. I think that it has, it's given me a new light, you know, because to be on camera and to have the whole world see you, you know, on these big networks, you know, that's priceless, I guess, branding or marketing and it shows that you're a diversified person, that you're able to do more than one thing. I mean, you know, granted, the success has been fun and it leads to a lot of opportunities, you know, and I'm not bragging, I'm just sharing, you know, so it's not,
I say,
you know,
you better celebrate yourself, because if you don't do it, who will?
Well, look, I'm not...
It's not bragging.
I have a custom clothing deal with Jack Victor, who's a global suit maker, custom clother, and every time I'm on TV, you see me, I'm dressed to the tens. Not even the nines.
I was going to say, not even the nines, to the tens. Yeah.
You know, due to them, and they're outstanding. And, you know, with the golf outing, which you saw, some of the sponsors that I'm able to attract. I mean, we had Delta Airlines, you know. I'm a non-celebrity. I'm not an athlete or anything, but I'm able to bring in Delta, Arizona Iced Tea. Who else? We had David Yurman, you know, the jeweler. And the list goes on. And Nike, who's a big supporter of mine, they've been my, you know, I've been an influencer with them for 25 years, plus years. And it just, and that's what I tell young people. I said, the reason that I'm able to do these things is because, one, I'm a good person. Two, I do what I say. You know, I don't over promise and under commit. If I don't know something, I'll find it. And
That's
I'm going
right.
to tell you,
Yeah.
I will find someone that does know it.
That's right.
And that's why my partner, Chris Muro, he's my partner. I always joke around. I go, dude, he's my dictionary, my glossary, all my answers are in he's the book. You know, I could sell all day long, but sometimes there's things that come up that I always say are beyond my reach, and he fills that reach. He
and that's
fills
why you
that
guys
void.
balance each
And
other out.
that's right. That's why we have a great partnership, and you know, I do what I do, and he does what he does, and you know, we just walk to the same beat.
That's good. It's good. When we come back, I want to talk to you about how now this extra light shining on you and this extra publicity has helped you to lead even more.
Mm-hmm.